Hi! Welcome back to Ezri Law Firm Podcast. So, in today's podcast episode,
we will be talking about surviving in a law firm. It's me, Sarah Mac.
And I'm Zuleika.
And thank you so much for dropping by to watch this podcast. And yabbing again.
Yeah. So, in this episode, we'll be actually talking about the differences, okay, so in so-called corporate lawyering and also commercial.
Basically, my pathway in joining the firm as a corporate and commercial lawyer, as well as Zuleika's take as someone who is not a lawyer or have any law background, but she's here.
Yeah, exactly. Why am I here?
Period. Question mark.
Question mark.
So basically getting to know us in a way. As a new, I'm a new person. She's not. She's an old person. But honestly, yeah. So we will just talk about these topics in a layman term,
just to make you guys understand better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I stop.
Welcome back to Ezri Law Firm Podcast. So in this special episode, basically we'll be talking about pathways to corporate lawyering
and what to expect. So we're going to break down basically the understanding of corporate lawyering in layman terms so that it will not be dry and boring.
For you guys.
Period.
Right? Okay. So I understand and I believe that some people out there are mistakenly thinking that corporate lawyers and commercial lawyers are the same thing. But I believe so, and upon doing research about it, apparently it's two different definitions for it. So probably, Sarah, can you share it to us a little bit? What is it about?
Yeah, I get it why people think it's the same because corporate and commercial law is used interchangeably. But corporate law basically affects a corporation or a company and basically of all sizes and at every relevant company life cycle. Does that make sense? That includes incorporation, restructuring, raising capital, mergers, corporate governance, shareholder rights, and also dissolution or liquidation of the particular corporation. Jang, jang, jang.
I see. So it's definitely two different things already. All right. So thanks, Sarah.
I actually not mentioned the difference between corporate law and commercial law yet.
Okay.
So this is so that was the corporate law,
okay. Right.
And for commercial law is basically a relevant day-to-day aspect of running a business, and its concerns in trade, the commercial transaction, business deals, yada yada yada. So basically, it helps lawyers to support their client in the smooth running of all aspects of their business. Thus, in comparing both corporate law and also commercial law is actually far broader, and it covers number of different areas of law actually. And if we were to tell you in specifics, we will bore you. So you can use Mr. Google to search it up and compare it yourself.
Yep. Even now, these are the things that you can just easily Google it up or probably ask ChatGPT or probably Bart do it for you.
So, but what is under the umbrella of commercial law is consumer law. We have contract law, intellectual property law. I'm pretty sure a lot of people know about this.
Yeah.
International transaction law and also banking and finance. Period. That's it. But there's a lot more which you guys can check.
All right. Okay. So actually, I have a few list of questions on how you yourself, Sarah, doing all this kind of corporate lawyering things.
Corporate lawyering.
Okay. So my first question, probably can you share to us a little bit about your journey in becoming a corporate/commercial lawyer?
Actually, to be honest, I've only been in the firm for 4 months, I believe. 4 months, maybe, yeah. I initially did not want to be a lawyer. So after SPM, I wanted to be an architect, but life is full of surprises, and here I am. After SPM, I joined a foundation in laws in IIUM, and then I graduated in bachelor's degree in law. And I did my childbearing right after I graduated, which is also 3 weeks before the first pandemic or PKP. So I am in that batch of people who are still, in the loop, in the hoo-hoo.
Oh, wow.
And I think that exposed me to a lot of things under corporate law, because during the pandemic, we had to do a lot of things, relatively new things. Sebab obviously, kita tak pernah go through a pandemic, right? The last pandemic was like 100 years ago. So there were a lot of new procedures, and we had to adapt to it quickly. I guess that's why it made me more adaptable to changes.
Yeah. And whatnot, right?
So I just joined in September. So it's from the last time I was in the legal fraternity until now, a lot has changed. So it went back to the norm, which I'm still getting used to lah. But the reason why I joined back law is because I feel like life is
right.
In order to give more life to my life, I needed something, I needed something that I used to like in order to live life to the fullest and live, love, laugh. Period. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does really. Because at the end of it all, you need to do something that you love and you're passionate about, right? Okay. So, coming back to my next question to you, right, Sarah? So, when do you actually know that you're actually ready to become a corporate lawyer instead of, being a litigation lawyer, probably pursuing as a conveyancing lawyer? So, how do you actually have that, the stepping point or stepping stone in terms of being a corporate lawyer?
Honestly, I never liked conveyancing ever since I was in LIB. Like God chooses conveyancing lawyers, and I am not one of them. Period. For litigation, I think I did a bit of litigation when I was chambering, but of course during the pandemic and the lockdown, courts were not running, and thus no one litigation department. I mean, it was on hold for a bit. So I think I continued on what I gained from my chambering, and I guess drafting. So it's also a good tool or knowledge to gain from looking at agreements and whatnot for future purposes if I intend to further spread my wings elsewhere. Period.
Interesting. Thanks, Sarah, for sharing this with us.
Yes.
Assalamualaikum. Saya Zainal. Saya daripada Ezra Law Firm Kelana Jaya. Okey, saya sini sebagai Head of Operation and Technologies. Tugasan saya dekat sini adalah memantau ataupun untuk menguruskan segala infrastruktur IT lah, sistem dan berkaitan lah dengan teknologi. Jadi apa yang saya buat dekat sini adalah memberi support lah, support kepada lawyer-lawyer, kepada staff-staff berkenaan dengan teknologi lah bagi melancarkan pengurusan dan kerja mereka.
Okay, thank you, Sarah, for sharing earlier just now. So, my next question to you. So, what are the one thing that you would not do after being a practicing lawyer?
I guess I won't do anything unlawful. Period.
That's something like you're avoiding that question, Sarah. So,
something that I would not do. Literally, I won't do anything unlawful lah. Because like the bar council can come for me, right? But that's literally my answer.
Okay.
I'm not an unlawful person.
Okay. I'm not gonna be the person that, keep on interrogating you. So
she's prying on me. But since she asked me so many questions, right? Let me ask Ika. The tables have turned now. Ika, like for a person who is not from the legal field, what made you want to join a law firm, honestly speaking?
All right. Okay. So this is basically the question has earn.
Yeah, but wait, the viewers they don't know what your background is. So maybe you can share to the viewers what you graduated in and what made you want to join the legal fraternity.
Okay.
Not as a lawyer, but dekat luar pagar lah, like
Alright,
helping us bloom.
Okay. Yep. All right. Okay. Questions are to me now. All right. So I think okay, my upper education background is basically I studied in international business during my diploma, and then I furthered my studies in business administration, and then majoring in HR. All right. So previously I was actually doing legit HR work, literally doing HR things for about probably almost 1.5 years. And then suddenly, hey, hello, a legal thing. So I'm like really intrigued ever since, starting a little bit, because previously I actually did a part-time in the firm itself. So I sort of learned like a few things, minor things about how the firms works. And then actually how they actually engage with clients. Of course, it's different from how other MNCs are doing it. So, and then, yeah, I think it's really, I would say a unique way in terms of penetrating clients. And of course, I work with various divisions here in Esri Law Firm itself. So it opens everyone's eye in how we actually work. All right. So, and then sometimes when we even engage with some other companies and also banking institutions and whatnot, and they're like really surprised on actually how Esri Law Firm works.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So that's a little bit.
But you're not answering my question.
Oh, what? What was it?
Why did you choose
the
legal
legal
field as
field
compared
itself.
to like because you mentioned earlier to the viewers that you are from international business, you did human resource, and you are memang akak HR, right? So
Okay.
like, why did you want to join a legal a legal firm to as your macam corporate ladder to the working life or whatever, instead as compared to joining macam a funner environment, can I say that?
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you ask me in terms of a funner environment, but definitely here, being in a legal field, a legal industry right now is even funner. That's even a word. Of course, it's even more. I would say I noticed myself that I became more creative, and yeah, because it's not just about being dealing with lawyers itself, because it's in being in a law firm as well. You have that business thinking as well.
Yeah. And also, Ika has her patience level has like skyrocketed maybe because she has to deal with lawyers. Do you get me? Period. So like she's playing hard.
Yeah.
But anyways, for those out there who are watching, corporate and commercial law, right? It doesn't only confine to just the word commercial or banking stuff, the black and white dry stuff. It also incorporates the drafting of treaties. This can include entertainment law. It can include intellectual property, like I mentioned earlier. So actually, I brought Ika to meet some people in the entertainment world. So she is now exposed to the film industry, a part of it, and also the music industry. So maybe you can share a bit to the audience, our firmmates and colleagues who are actually watching, your experience berbandingkan satu, which is music, and film.
Okay.
Which we went to finance as well as view, and then music we went for universal music.
Okay, all right. Coming back to her question just now, right? The reason why I'm choosing, legal firm. See, as she just mentioned, I just ventured into corporate and then, entertainment. So of course, it's something who wouldn't want to do it. Like, I don't know. How about you guys, listeners out there? All right. So of course, it's something new for me, of course. meeting creative peoples are, you cannot put yourself, or you cannot expect them to think alike. Definitely, right? So there are groups of creative people who are actually passionate about what they do. So of course, when it comes to dealing with them in terms of business perspective side, and also you have to have like 3 thinking hats at the same time during that time.
Yeah.
So my experience itself is very, I would say, I was very nervous. If you ask me, if you sometimes, like, people will say, "Allah, Ika, just meeting people is easy," but I don't think
It drains your social battery.
but
people.
to me, because like they are because of their passion in terms of what they do, and sometimes when they speak about how they shoot and how they, their schedules and whatnot, sometimes I'm me staring at her literally like, yeah, I mean, it's a totally different thing. Things that they do are different. Practices are different. So of course, you as a person that is like new in terms of entering a new industry, new practices, you have to be a sponge. I always say that to myself. I have to be a sponge, absorb, and try to.
Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, I guess because Ika was not really involved much maybe not exposed to the entertainment world, regardless whether it's film or music. She's always around the corporate slaves. She's never around people in the creative scene. So I guess you would say you had a good time, right?
Yeah,
talking to them. I mean, the difference between us, I would say half of me is that we're pretty much like, we do things totally different, right? I mean, but I am a sponge. I am a sponge, not a SpongeBob, but a sponge, Sarah. So, I can conform to the norms of each world, the dynamics of each world. But yeah, what do you think about, diving into the drafting and helping out the creatives with your agreements? Like, do you think it's a good idea for us to?
If you ask me, of course it's a great idea. Yeah, of course, because from what I heard and also from your sharing itself, right? Because to those artists out there, or probably some they are not aware of the things that probably they overlooked. I would say they overlooked some of the probably some of the laws, or probably some of the I would say practices that they don't know that it's actually illegal. Those kind of things that they are not aware of.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's not something that diorang tak belajar or something. It's just
I think after Ika has befriended me, she realized that there is some loopholes.
Yep. There's a lot.
There's like somewhat a gap between the legal fraternity and other divisions of the world. I've seen it before, and a lot of people don't know much about the law, and it's also because maybe a lot of laymen out there think that the law is for the elites, or it's too complicated. That's why in this upcoming show, we will be debunking all the legal things for all you laymen.
Yep.
In the most unboring way possible.
Yeah.
So this is just an introduction of many things that we are going to talk about. But you all should stay tuned for more, I guess.
Yeah, all right. So I think, thank you so much, everyone, for actually listening to us or probably watching us. All right, so I think that's all for today's podcast.
Thank you so much for watching. If you think that we're yapping too much, just comment down below whatever topics you want us to talk about, and maybe we'll share it. We will do we should do
probably not just about us, right?
Yeah, not about us. Like anything else. Like if you kena tahan dekat roadblock, what should you do? What should you know?
What should you prepare?
Yeah, prepare. What to answer. Don't ask me. I always fight with all the police. But this is we will tell you the more nicer way to talk to people. And maybe like the next podcast, this is just like a very light podcast episode for you guys.
Yep.
But for the next one, maybe you can ask questions and we'll read it on our
Yeah,
podcast.
it's
Interactive.
It's interesting.
We want this podcast to be as interactive as possible because why am I talking to just a camera?
Yep.
Period.
Correct.
So thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like,
Right.
subscribe, comment, and
Okay.
share.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.